Hey, good people. It's Thursday. How are we doing? Right, I'm looking like a Hajati today. Maybe I am. Who knows? How are we doing? Winning entrepreneurs with Nation, Wed Nation, Wed Nation, Wed Nation. Oh my goodness, so very excited this Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. Yesterday was Throwback Wednesday, Hump Day. You call it what you want. Today is Throwback Thursday. And we are going to do a daily win that goes like this. You have been doing stuff, you have been running around, you've been setting goals, you've been looking through your last year's goals, you have been reflecting, you have been assessing, you have been doing the work, right? I hope you have. So today, you're going to do a quick 1 month review of your January and beginning of February, because you're exactly 7 days into February. And we know February is a 28-day month. So you want to do a quick review of your January/February. Ask yourself, are you still on the path of your goals? Ask yourself, are you still aligned with the goals you set for 2019? Ask yourself, are you still aligned with the goals you set for February? Because we are 7 days into February, right? Good morning, Phoebe. How are you doing? How are you getting on? How are you getting on? Are you getting value? Are you getting clarity? Are you getting more focus? Or are you getting more, oh my goodness, what am I getting myself into? Because if that's the case, you want to have a quick chat with me and we can craft for you a quicker way to navigate the den and get the results you're looking for. Because we want results for you. That's what we want for you to get. So if you feel overwhelmed, chat with Sister Julie. If you feel you are falling back into old habits, again, chat with me. Definitely the system in the den of setting goals every Monday, activity-based goals, like how many people am I going to talk to, how many people will I follow up with, how many meals will I take, how much fruit will I take, how much liquid will I take. We look at the holistic entrepreneur as opposed to just business, because business can be stressful. And if you don't look after the self, the business falls down. And so that's why we give you those kinds of guidances so you can pace yourself and you can start to get the results you're looking for. So that's why we tell you to do 1 day at a time, because when you get into the week, that's when everything falls apart. You can set beautiful goals every year and you set beautiful strategies and you set yourself to-do lists. But if you don't just set yourself tasks, your to-do list won't get done, because so many people do a to-do list but don't get the do. But if you set yourself a task and you set yourself a target and you track your task, you will get results. Good morning, Jack. How are you doing? Good to see you here. It's getting warmer, is it? Shall we dream, guys? I like it warm. I am becoming Hajati Kalunji at this rate. Just to keep myself warm, I'm not doing anything to my hair because I don't want to even do anything to it until it's warmer. So today's task is all about self-reflection, self-assessing, not setting daily goals yet. That's how things get done, Phoebe. You set daily goals. That's how you start to differentiate yourself from the general average Joe blogs, because you start to set yourself winning habits. And winning habits mean you set goals for the week. Now, in the week, you have days, 7 days, and in the 7 days you have X amount of hours to work on your business. That is something only you can decide. And then you break down those hours into what can I do per hour in order to move my business forward. That is how you look after your baby. You do them daily, you do them hourly, you feed them, you change them, you water them, you bath them, you play with them, you do the things that you do for your baby hourly, daily. And that's what you look at your business as a baby that you're nurturing, or a seed that you're nurturing. Depends on whichever way you want to look at it. Can be your baby, can be your seed you've sown and you're wanting to nurture it. Either way, You do daily tasks. A farmer has daily tasks they do before their harvest happens. Every day they are doing something. Even though they put the seed in the ground, they don't just sit and watch the ground and wait for the seed to grow. They're actually doing certain things every day to make sure that when the seed comes, they are also ready to receive it. Do you realize that some things you have to do in order to receive? Sometimes if last year you planted a small plot, this year you've planted an acre, you have to expand your receiving vessel for the acre of harvest you're going to receive. So many people plant, instead keep the same vessel for receiving from, and that doesn't work. And that's why we work on your mind, we work on your physics, we work on your physics, we work on your sciences, we work on your minds, we work on your spirit, so that you can grow into that person who has expanded to receive that huge harvest you're looking for. So daily goals, daily goals, daily goals. You must have daily goals. In fact, they are not daily goals, and daily it's not a goal anymore. Daily tasks, activities, action, 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 action. Everything that is happening in your life is a result of an action you took or failed to take. Action is the key. It's the key to everything going on in your life, good or not so good. Action, the doing or the lack of it. So set yourself tasks, aka actions, that you're going to do every week to get the results you're looking for. We are breaking it down for Phoebe why we set weekly activity or task-based goals. And those task-based goals are not just business. We also look at how much water we're going to take, how much food are we going to eat, how many days shall we exercise, how many days shall we just chill out, when is me time, when do we meditate, when do we visualize, when do we affirm, when do we speak greatness into our lives. We do all these things, and some of these things take less than 5 minutes of your 24 hours. So hey ho, no excuses, guys, no excuses. Good morning, Maura. Good morning, Dr. Miriam. All of you get some high five, fist bump. Do you like my Hajati attire? I love it. Should I get Mr. Kalunji to become Hajati? What name shall we give him? Goodness gracious me. Badiru. Hajati Badiru Kalunji. Oh, Haji Badiru Kalunji. All right, let's get back to the business at hand. Right, today we're going to look at Facebook groups. It's a very detailed training, so grab yourself a cuppa, get yourself whatever you need to do, and sit down and let's go through this so that you don't have to do replay unless you are going back to check out what you missed out on. Hajati ting this, Jack. You know the things, you know them things, right? Yes, let's get to Maka already. Right. If you speak the right language, right, we've done the daily win and we kind of talked about goals for Phoebe's sake. And on Monday, we shall dig deeper into why we set activity-based goals, how we do them so that she can understand better, or she can really, we'll go through it a bit more, because I think even the seasoned members of the Den have kind of lost perspective on why goals, how goals, what goals. Okay, we shall talk about that on Monday in a bit deeper detail. We have a whole month when we literally just talked about goals. November, I think it was. So if you go through the November trainings of 2018, you will be goal oriented already, Phoebe. But we'll talk about goals a bit more. And on a weekly basis, we set actions. On a daily basis, we go towards our actions. We set intentions. On hourly basis, you set the intention to pull back your day and see if you're going towards that goal you set for the day. And if you don't stop yourself every hour and pull back your day, it just runs away from you. I call it pulling back your day, because literally you're either pulling it back or you're straddling and then soaring and you're literally galloping towards your goals. If you're not, you're pulling back your day, recentering yourself, resetting the intention you set in the morning that I am going to do X, Y, Z to get the results I'm looking for. And then you get back on track. So, why Facebook groups? Because we are on Facebook, number one. Because it has over 2 billion actually, they say. Over 2 billion users per month. That's number two. Because it has business resources that can help you grow your business, aka Messenger, aka groups, aka pages, aka Facebook ads, and we're focusing on one of those assets, which is groups. And I'm sure each one of you has a group you're part of, whether you are an admin of that group or you are a moderator, or you're just a participant in that group, you're part of a group. But what is your group model? What is your group model? What does it stand for? You know, that group you're either part of or you started, what does it stand for? In the Den, we have a whole video that talks about the vision of the Den and what do we stand for, where we're going, and we hope to take you there with us. And at some point you're going to say, thank you for working with me. I'm now diverting to this direction because this is where I wish to go, but we will have journeyed with you at some point, as we have journeyed with several members of the Den who have decided they are taking a divergent, or they are taking a diversion, or they are taking that motorway as opposed to the motorway we're going down. So what language does that group speak? It could be a physical language, because some of you speak different languages. Obviously, we all speak different languages as well, in addition to our mother tongues. So what language does that group speak? And therefore, are you speaking to the right people? Now, when I say that, now you know we're not talking about physical languages. We're talking about the way those people speak, the things they talk about, how they talk about them. Those things, are they pains? Are they desires? Are they just light-hearted fun, drama, news, Al Jazeera, all that good news? What's your belief system? Does it align with that group? If your belief system, hobbies, interests, all those things do not align with that group, exit already, because it's draining your energy without even you knowing. It will impact everything. Your belief system impacts everything, because it's all about your self-image. It's all about how you see yourself. It's all about how you share, how you show up, and in that group and outside of that group. I'll give you an example. Good job, Dr. Kalunji is not here. Okay, so one day we were talking about our income, right? Our family income and how we see it evolving in the next 12 to 18 months. And I asked, how much do you think we should project to bring into our family in the next 12 to 18 months? And he stated a figure, and I stated a different figure. And because I said, let's speak the figure now, both of us. And then we looked at each other and laughed. And I said, why do you think we should be bringing in almost the same as we brought in last year? The figure you've just said is not far off from last year. And he goes, we don't want to be greedy. I goes, what? He said, yeah, we don't want to pull in so much more because, you know, we don't want to be greedy. And I'm like, why would you think we would be greedy if we brought in the figure I talked about? If we projected and expanded our receiving vessel and our actions to bring in that figure, why would you think we would be greedy? And he couldn't answer that question. And I said, it's not greedy to want more. And many of you feel that way. You feel like it's greedy to want more, even if you're wanting more. Even if the things you want cost more, you feel like wanting more is greed. You feel like asking for more is not good for you. So you feel like you should be pulling back. Well, we had a good discussion about that. Trust me on that. And finally, he did actually see that it was ridiculous of him to think that bringing in more money, calling in more money was greedy. Because I said, I'm sure you want to be paid more at work. Are you thinking in your mind, I actually don't mind being paid so much more less because it would be greedy to have more? Because that's why they will not give you more at your workplace if that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, because it's greedy to want more. And there's no such thing as greed when you look at your work. When you're working and you're giving value, people pay for value. And people pay for value, whatever that means for them. What you might consider as out of your budget, I will not use the word expensive because that's mindset. Again, if you think about things as expensive, that's expensive, that's your mind. Again, that is the same as someone saying it's greedy to want to bring in an extra 200,000 a month, that's greedy. So what's your belief system that could be doing that for you? You're trying to push through. The belief system is saying, no, this is what you believe and this is where you're going to end. And if you're hanging around in groups that align with that top ceiling, they're not aligning with your pushing, they're aligning with your ceiling, that's where you're going to stop. So in short, who are you hanging with and who are you serving? Who are you hanging with and who are you serving? Right? Always be asking yourself the question, who am I serving and who am I hanging with? Because those two go hand in hand in order to increase your serving or hit a ceiling with your serving. And Facebook groups, which is what we are talking about today, can be a major contributor to your service or can be a major contributor to your ceiling. If you want to up your game and you want to attract the ideal customer, team member, business partner, or whatever it is you're looking for in that group, you want to understand what your ideal client wants and how they speak in order to enable you to sell and serve to them with ease and with speed. And so your belief system is very, very important. And many people will teach you about Facebook group strategies, but they will not touch your belief system, which is holding you back or helping you grow. So, for example, the Winning Entrepreneurs Den is a network and a nation of aspiring entrepreneurs, marketers, business owners in the online space. It's a place where you guys help each other, and I help you understand your superpowers, understand your strengths. You already have them. I just have to help you and guide you and help you, give you the roadmap so your superpowers or your strengths can come out to play. Where we call out the bullshit and we empower you to have the right mindset and use the right strategies that may work for you in order to serve your figure that you mentioned yesterday. That figure you mentioned in yesterday's video, yes, that figure. Whether you put it in the comment or you said it to yourself, what that figure is, you can get to it faster if you do show up, use your superpower, follow the right strategies. There are several inside of the den, and I am bringing more every day for you, and you will rise up to that figure because you will have expanded your vessel to receive that figure. So you don't need a large following. I don't. I genuinely don't have a large following. There are people here inside of the den who have a bigger follower base than I am. Bigger. Yes, you know yourselves. Like you have 30, 40,000 people following you. But those numbers are very deceiving. I was talking about that, about Pinterest as well, because a lot of people have millions of views on their accounts and zero bank from their Pinterest. So let's look at the things you want to do to have a lit Facebook group. One that grows, even if some people come and go. That is normal in every community, in every society. People come and go. If you look at your local community, the young are going out to seek more opportunities, and some are coming back as they find that the grass is not greener, and some older people are leaving and some are coming, the middle are leaving and some are coming. It is the nature of a community, and so do not worry about anything when you see your group going up and down near your wing. That is how groups grow. That is how success goes as well. Up and down, flat line, up, level, down, right to the rock bottom, straight back up like it's a big steep incline, all that jazz. Understand your client's needs, your client's desires. What do they want to achieve? That is so important. It should be at the forefront of everything you share, because you're now a winning entrepreneur. I'm telling you, Maliza, I'd rather have a bigger bank balance than a bigger following. The two are nice to have together, but hey ho, big bank balance for me, that does me 100%. So understand their needs, understand their language patterns. And these change, by the way. These change according to who they're hanging out with, who they're listening to, what's going on in their lives. In 2013, all I could talk about was, I don't have a job, I don't have a job, I don't have a job. My language was, I don't have a job. And so my biggest need was money, 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 money. And because I was focusing on I don't have a job, I don't have money, I perpetuated that forever. When I changed that and started to see that I have skills, I have qualifications I have left to gather dust. Let me polish them up and even improve on them. There are books that can be read. There are courses out there. Thank you, Sean Lido, for showing me. There are people out there ready to help people like me who have resources sitting in their brain that can be downloaded and connected with other existing resources and improving. And my life started to change. There was also one thing I forgot completely. See, especially all of us most of you do not live where you grew up. Now, I think there's only one person here who lives where they grew up. Most of us here are in a different country from where we grew up. Most of us also have assets in those countries where we grew up, either because you inherited them or you have created them. Now, I was one of those people who had both assets that had been created by me and those that I had inherited. And when you added those assets together, I was a multi-millionaire. I am a multi-millionaire. I'm not saying this to boast. I'm saying this to center you, all of you, thinking, I am broke, and that is perpetuating that. When I sat down and actually looked at my assets, and that was because somebody reminded me, what are your assets? And they talked about how they grew up by the way, they grew up in Brazil. And then they went to the United States. And then they forgot that they had a ton lot of assets in Brazil that were actually creating an income. It may not have been as much as they were wanting it to be, but it was there. And in Brazil, they were very well off. So many of you look at what you have right now because it's your environment. It has created a border around you that you need to breach and break through. You need to literally obliterate and dissolve and start to see yourself in that bigger picture. Understand where you are. Understand that your language will match the language of the people you hang out with, and that will be that story you're telling you. You will have people and systems supporting that story. When I changed that and realized the assets we have as a family, the assets I brought to this table, and the assets that we have created together, I was like, oh my goodness, I've been looking at I've been looking at my life a whole wrong way. You've got to change that mindset and bring that to your group so that you start to attract people of the same caliber to that group, because we attract who we think we are right here in our little brain, because our brain starts to say things to us and that spirit cannot beat what that brain is saying, because it's saying it so out loud and you're believing it with your soul, and it's like an impenetrable wall. So you need to open your eyes to the assets you've got. And I mean physical assets, spiritual assets, social assets, financial assets, economic assets. You've got assets, educational assets. Like attracts like. Thank you, Mary. 100%. If you look back to the kind of people I was hanging out with 2010, 2013, and the kind of people I hang out with today, it's like night and day. I'm telling you, the conversation is different. The conversation is different when you hang out with successful people. It is so different. It's almost, you start to look at yourself and think, oh my goodness, am I in the wrong circle? Because you are still, part of you are straddling a wall. Part of you is sat there with the losers that you used to hang out with in your head. And this other part is hanging out with these rock stars who are telling you billionaire stories, multi-millions. I made 6 figures yesterday and I've just made 6 figures when I woke up, and you're like, eh? Okay, me? I have nothing. What? So what are the people you're hanging with saying? The people you hang out with that you're going to attract in that group that you're either already part of or you're going to create today, what do they speak? Why are they in that group? And for this, you hang out in that group more to understand them. Like I hang out in this den and ask you questions. So I want to know where you are at in your mind. Now you need to understand the problem they are trying to solve. Because that's what will get you to bring them into your inbox and have that conversation and make the suggestions I made yesterday. The suggestions I gave you yesterday on asking them what else have they used and how has it not served their need? Because when you remind somebody that which you tried did not work, they are open to a suggestion of what may work. And you have the solution, only that they're hanging on to that other thing that didn't work for them because we fear change. Change is the one thing that's constant. It's normal. When I went to bed last night, I was different. I was a day younger. Today I'm a day older, and some things have changed in my very ecosystem that I can't even see with my eyes. Change is normal. And for this, you need to start to talk about how you were in their place, and now you have moved a few steps ahead and you have the solution. You know the way from that confusion to the light. Don't be a generalist when you're in that group. Don't be a generalist. And don't be a yes person agreeing with everything people are saying. The only time you should agree with is to agree and then say, I was there. I know how you feel. I was there. I can sympathize. And if you were not there, empathize. Those two words put you in a very good position. You can sympathize because you know what it is like, or you empathize. You don't know what it is like, but you feel their pain. Now, when you're a specialist, you bring specialist solutions. Things that you know that other people don't know. What is it that you do that a mom will relate to, that a dad will relate to, that a grandma will relate to, that a young person will relate to? If you look at that training that talks about those different age ranges and those different demographics, you'll start to speak people's languages, even if you have a whole range of different ages. And some of you have products that serve a certain demographic that cannot pay you the price you're asking for because they don't have the money. They are dependents. They are children. So start to think, who is in charge? Who is the ward of this child? Who's the guardian of this ward that I can speak to? Mommy, daddy, uncle, auntie, grandfather, grandma, social worker? So go and do some market research in 2 to 3 Facebook communities that you are part of, and ask yourself what attracted you to that community. Why do you keep going back to that community? What questions are being asked in that community that you are capable of answering, and either you are allowing yourself the luxury of not having the time to answer, and therefore you're failing to be the specialist, or you go out there and you answer them, but you're being general and you're agreeing with the problem as opposed to being the solution. Or you are a sales pitch and you go there and you're always talking about your product that's supposed to help people, and they are literally creating a wall between you and them because they see you as a sales pitch as opposed to a solution provider. Ask yourself those questions. I used to be a sales pitch, guilty as charged. Every time somebody said something, I was talking about my solution in a way that was a sales pitch. I was not looking to provide solutions to people's problems. I was looking to get the dollar. The dollar, 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 dollar. Anywho, we love the dollar. So, what are people's frustrations? That is where, when a problem becomes a frustration, that person is ready to buy. Even if money is a problem, they will find the money. Once a pain becomes a frustration, because frustration is an emotion. Pain can be physical, it can be spiritual, emotional, and it could be people endure pains that you have not even begun to imagine. They endure. People have endurance muscles that they don't even know they have. But when it becomes something that they cannot stop thinking about, that they go to bed crying, or they can't sleep for hours thinking about it, it has become a real serious pain. It's frustration. That person is ready. That person is ready to change. And if you're there, being the good friend, being the solution provider, sharing tips, being the specialist, they will buy. Are they a fit for your offer? If someone's not a fit for your offer, you are wasting your breath and energy and resources giving them your time. Release them already. If they are in your group, you could even release them seriously, as in you remove them. There are people who are not a fit for the den anymore, and we remove them. Good old Hazel does the good old chief whip. Bye. Because this is a membership group and site, and so if you don't feel like you're a member anymore, you are released. So speak their language and they will relate to you. Speak of their pain, but above all, speak of the solution. Speak of the transformation. Speak of the journey. Those are the things that people want to hear, because people love stories. When there was no computer, when there was no electricity, when there was none of these things that we have come to take as normal, the things that got people to move forward, to be inspired, to grow, were stories. I don't know if you remember Nambi and whoever. If you grew up in Uganda, we always had a story of Nambi and Chintu, and and your grandma would sit you down after dinner and tell you stories to inspire you to be better, or to inspire you to get to bed quick, or to inspire you not to talk to strangers, or to inspire you to be more cautious, or whatever lesson they wanted to teach you. They'd tell a story, and you would never know that they were trying to teach you that story. You just enjoyed the story. What stories are you telling people that could get you to a different place or are keeping you behind? Because stories sell. Stories sell. So in your group, be that person who tells a story. And a story is a journey from where you are to the catalyst, to the transformation, to I am ready to help you. Tell the story. And you have lived so many lives. I don't know who keeps saying you live one life, you have one life. What bollocks. That person must be a baby still. You evolve every day. Your life is so rich with stories to share and inspire other people. And many times there is a story to whatever it is going on in your life that you can share to inspire somebody to change their life. And you have the product. So you need to stand out as that person who is the expert, the master of what you've got to give to them, that person who speaks their pain but knows that you're no longer there, so they cannot start to relate to you in such a way that you're like them. You have to be that different from them. Even though you've been there, you have left that space. Because otherwise it becomes a matter of familiarity and it becomes a matter of contempt. You know what that means. When people relate too much and consider you too similar to them, then you're not the expert anymore. You're just one of them. And you want to remove the them and us and just become you, amazing, you know more. You are not superior, you are not inferior, you just know more because you've experienced the transformation. You are now the influencer. People think that influencers have to have, because of social media, an influencer has to have 100 millions of followers and all that. You have influencers that don't even have one social media follower. They are in your church, in your local community initiatives, the charity givers, the teachers. That they don't have millions of followers, but they are influencing you every day. So when you use the word influencer and the only thing you can think about is Beyonce or whoever is your local Facebook vlogger, you have completely missed the boat, because you are now saying, I am not an influencer. You are an influencer. And you need to step up into that space and either show up in that group where you are the leader, or show up in a group where somebody has already created the